I'm Julia.
And I'm Miranda.
And you're listening to episode 3 of the Canner Banner podcast. Welcome to our Spring Fling Equestrian Edition episode of the podcast. We're going to be sharing some tips and tricks for spring cleaning and getting prepared for trail riding and show season. So we're just going to jump right into it.
Yeah, I have to apologize now. I'm on the verge of just laughter. I don't know what got into me. I think I'm tired, so I'm sorry now.
Sleepy ha-ha.
I've never heard of that.
That's what happens when you podcast after a full day of work.
Yes. Okay, so spring is here, but it's not. It can't decide what it wants to do.
It's spring-ish here. It's like
daytime,
kind of comfortable.
Nighttime freezing.
Yeah.
You need your Carhartts. At least I do, all the time.
Yeah. Definitely still cold enough for Carhartts. But the warmer days have me super anxious to actually be able to get out and trail ride. And I really would love to be able to go to a horse show.
I agree. And it's nice to be able to go outside, go to the barn, and not freeze. Like that, I can't clean any of my stuff when I'm freezing. Because I have monster gloves to keep my fingers warm, and I can't get anything accomplished. So I keep staring at my grooming box and just cringing every time I see it because it needs clean so bad. So I'm excited for warmer weather so I can start on this.
When your face hurts when you're outside, I feel like that's kind of you don't want to be outside doing extra stuff. Getting out to just ride
is hard.
It's hard enough to think about cleaning things, especially when you don't have warm water accessible at the barn. It's just no. It's just not going to happen.
You heard that right. There is no warm water, so it makes it difficult. So I have to search through the white hairs to find my brushes currently. So it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a good time to do it because winter is just so cruddy. Everything just has a layer of disgusting, scummy dirt left on it, including my horse.
I know. I don't want to talk about that. We're going to go over a few things that can help you get through this cleaning in springtime. And if you clean now, then you can enjoy it because hopefully everything's organized as well, and it's easier just to get on and ride again rather than fight through the grime and the cold. So,
and something that we had talked about a little bit before we started recording is also it's almost like a biosecurity thing, keeping the germs. Keep the germs in wintertime.
Oh yeah, that's one of my things.
I know.
Keep it clean. And that, I'm just going to go.
Go for it. Well, the one thing I really wanted to talk about today was cleaning brushes because I feel like in the past I haven't had a great system at doing it. I did a little bit of research on it, but I know you've done it in a way that seems like it's going to clean it but not ruin your brushes.
Yeah, I've always had, I think it's kind of interesting to me to be at have my horse at a lesson barn where they share brushes for horses because I've never done that. I've always had individual boxes. When I had 2 horses at one time, they had their own brushes. And I feel like that going off your biosecurity is huge. When horses will get different skin fungus or bacteria, when you have your individual box of grooming supply per horse, you know that you can clean it and you're not going to pass it on to another horse. When you share brushes with all the horses,
it spreads like wildfire.
It does. It spreads. And I mean, even simple, not even thinking about fungal and bacterial infections. It's funny too when you watch people if they groomed a gray horse earlier that day and then are grooming a bay and you have white hairs all over your bay, like things like that as well. And yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's expensive to buy a bunch of brushes, but really when you think about vet bills for trying to clear up or buying products to clear up these fungal or bacteria infections that are spread, you were better off probably just getting individual brushes per horse. That's my thing. I like to keep, everybody has their own stuff. And that goes for saddle pads too, especially the sweat, if they have rain rot, things like that. Saddle pads,
Like
you should have per horse has their own set of tack and grooming supplies so that you can clean that and you know that, okay, I'm treating it, I'm cleaning it all the time, and now they're clear again, so I can continue on. But like that's my one thing is just keep brushes for certain horses. And then with brushes, I try to clean my brushes. Like I said, wintertime, I can't really be trusted. I can't unless
honestly, if they're just sitting out in the cold, like there's no way to dry them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go through and clean out the box and like clean the dirt from my grooming box. But this time of year, I try to keep it all the time because then you have bugs too. Like in the summertime, springtime, you need to keep everything clean because there's so much more growing and there's bugs. And yeah, that's what I go on about. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you have multiple horses?
Yeah, I haven't been at the same farm for very long, and when they were, they had separate brushes, separate saddle pads, separate girths. I mean, they're two different size horses, but I mean, basically, nothing really transferred between the two, just because it doesn't seem worth it to me to
Right.
spread that. Because everybody, I mean, it's just like with people, you have your own skin bacteria.
Right. I don't use your toothbrush. I use my own.
Ew.
I know, that's so gross. But I mean, that's what it's kind of compared to.
Or like, that'd be like me putting on your dirty clothes. Like if you had dirty clothes on.
My clothes are clean.
I mean, if you wore them all day and then I put them on, like, your skin bacteria would be on there.
And that's also like the saddle pad. You wore this in a sweaty lesson. Now I want to go put on your sweaty clothes on the next one. Like that's gross. It's gross, but it happens. Like I feel bad using a dirty pad on my horse, even though she was the one who used it.
It's like it's like putting on somebody else's dirty clothes.
Yeah, it's gross. Okay. Ugh.
But you brought up a good point about when you're cleaning brushes, like to not. Especially the wooden ones, like the actual wooden ones, to not let them soak in the water or whatever you're using. And when I did a little bit of research, honestly, everything I found was like very much chemical based cleaning.
Oh.
And I really, like, I have sensitive skin. Like I react to a lot of different fragrances. I can only use certain detergents, so I try to be really cognizant of that with my horse. And a lot of the stuff was saying to use Lysol, and I really just think that's not.
No,
I mean, it probably works, but I would rather go from a more natural.
Yeah, I especially like thinking about thinner skinned horses such as thoroughbreds or light skinned horses who are sensitive to a lot of the. They're even sensitive to different materials you use. So, I never really used anything that commercial based. I've used Dawn dish soap and water. I mean, they have the little duck on it for the oil spills, but it's dish soap. You have it most of the time. Vinegar also. Vinegar is a great cleaning tool. You can pretty much use it with everything. On the horse, on your brushes. It'll work on tack sometimes too with mold if you have mold issues. I love vinegar. But again, so like with the wood, if you have wood brushes, just let it soak so that just the bristles are in there and not your wood so that it doesn't dry out and crack. I think I have a lot of they make a lot of the plastic
Or synthetic.
top brushes now. Just scrubbing, the worst I think are the main brushes to clean, like combs and brushes, because you have to get in between the bristles and they get so nasty and it's hard. But like you can get an old toothbrush and just scrub in there.
I've actually used my horse's shampoo before to clean the brushes.
What shampoo?
Ecolicious Equestrian Green and Squeaky Clean.
Oh.
I mean, I figured it couldn't hurt to use something that you're using directly on your horse's skin to clean. I mean, some of the brushes are like animal hair, right? They're not synthetic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why would you, I figured it couldn't hurt it. And it seemed to work pretty well.
Oh, I think the main thing is drying it properly. Also, like, don't just put it back in your box and close the lid. Like,
Grow some mold in it.
I know. Then you need your vinegar again. But especially once it warms up, lay them out in the sun, let them air dry, and make sure you clean the box that your brushes go in or your tote that your brushes go in. Because what's the point of cleaning them if you put them back into a grimy thing that maybe your hoof oil spilled in and now you have like thick dirt, grime, hair mixture.
Are you speaking from experience?
I know you were gonna. Yes, actually I am. Sometimes, like the winter, things happen.